whenever Fran and Paul asked me to come speak with y'all today, they asked me to talk to y'all about what we do to close the skills gap. And I started thinking about it and put a little PowerPoint presentation together, and I didn't realize how much we did. And it's kind of our future generation, right? We hit our future generation. But, oh, wrong way. All right. But what I want y'all to understand is who we are first, because we're in a rural community, about 400 people. The next biggest town's 12,000, and then 45 minutes away, where most of our workers are from, is about 65,000, 66,000 people. So not a lot of people around the area. But we are Formosa. We were founded in the U.S. in 1978. We're a privately owned company. We're one of the world's largest producers of plastic resins and industrial chemicals. 5 business divisions and 25 plus production units at 2 locations. We also have a location in Baton Rouge. We're in Point Comfort, Texas. I'm sure y'all have heard of that. There we go. And so skills gap, attrition. We have 2,800 full-time employees there. That's Formosa full-time employees. Out of that 2,800, there's roughly about 1,040 something operators there. We also have 900 on-site contractors. That's just on-site full-time. Normally we have 2,000 or 3,000 contractors there. And in 2025, we hired 256 people. Out of that 256, roughly about 120 were operators. We do a lot, okay? We have olefins, chlor-alkali, polyethylene, polypropylene, SPVC, PVC, VCM, EG, you name it, we probably have it out there. We're totally integrated. We try not to rely on too much other than our ethane and propane that comes in, water, and brine. And as you can see, that's how we get to all our products over there. But with that being said, there's so many jobs that we need. When you look at a chemical plant, everybody thinks operators, maintenance technicians, right? But at Formosa, you know, we have our engineering center where we design, because we're constantly building. When we first started in '78, it was just VCM and PVC. Now we have 23 operating units there. We produce our own power, you know, steam, cogen, you name it, right? So our skills out there are vast, right? We even have a clinic. We have doctors on site. We have nurses on site. We have lawyers. We have accountants. You name it, we got it right there at our facility. So we're always looking for people, and that's why the 256. This is our plant site in 2024. So you can kind of see how large we are. So in 2014, we purchased the elementary school there in Point Comfort. They'd shut down. Like I said, there's only 200 or 300 people. They bus all the kids over to Port Lavaca. And so we purchased the elementary school there. And we knew that we were fixing to expand. We were fixing to build an olefins unit, ethylene glycol unit, 2 polyethylene units, and our 3rd power plant. And we knew we were going to need a lot of operators. The Victoria College, they have a process tech degree. They were graduating 15 students, and we knew we were going to need 300. So what did we do? We opened up the school and started teaching. Okay. 18 years ago, we also started teaching these 2 high school classes. And I taught for 4 years at the high school. Formosa paid for me to go to the high school, and we taught Introduction to Process Technology, Introduction to Safety, Health, and Environment. That's helping the community, helping our future, closing the skills gap, right? They also test out of those courses, right? And we pay for their test. And so if they pass, they get 6 college credit hours. before they or when they graduate from high school, right? So they're already starting off on a good foot there. Last year, we decided, and we'd hired a lot of those students in the years, but last year we decided, hey, you know what? We ought to have like a signing day for kind of like they do for athletes, except they're signing on. And these were for the top students in the class, and we hired those straight in to Formosa after they did that. Changed these kids' lives. They're 18 years old, and next year, they're there right now. They're already out in the field. They already went through my program, but they're already out in the field, and they're going to be making six figures. 19 years old, making six figures. It's crazy, right? But it's changing their lives. And in a rural community, we have to build our own, right? Fran always jokes about this, but, when I get them, I have to teach them what channel locks are, right? You ever seen anybody would have a pair of channel locks in their hand, one handle in one hand, one handle in the other, doing this? I was like, what are you doing? Right? What are you doing? Right? So we teach a little bit of everything, but we understand there's skills that we had when we were kids that they don't have. We even go to the elementary schools. We have a STEM academy in Victoria, and you can see the little skid back here, and my welding training coordinator, he built this skid for me. And it's nothing, it's a mock distillation. There's no heat. It's pretty much material balance. We're moving water around, and we let the kids play with it and see if they can make the level go up and down or hold the level at certain, and then we give them we'll shut the pump off and ask them, oh, what happened? What are we going to do now? But just getting the kids interested and letting them understand what we do around the area. We're right there, but they've never been to Point Comfort because we're across the bridge, and so we're just letting everybody know and trying to touch and make sure that our skills, our future students, our future employees, I should say, understand about us. With that being said, we sit on about, a lot of acres, okay? Probably about 35,000 acres, and but 245 we set aside as a wetland area to spark their interest in science and environmental, right? All plants have environmental coordinators, right? So we have a classroom out there, right? And about 750 fifth, 7th, and 8th grade students have visited that classroom, right? And we pay for them to come out there and learn the science, environmental stuff. This is Formosa Tejano Education Center. That's what it's called. And it's a partnership with Calhoun County, which is the county we're in. And that's pretty much what it is. Also, being in the small community we own a lot of houses, and we donated 19 houses to the area schools, because that brought in teachers, which helps our future employees, right? And the training center. This is, Paul said 800 people. I think I'm up to a little over 1,100 students have gone through my training program since I've opened it up in 2014. I started off as a trainer, and now I'm the manager of it. But we started hiring as contractors. We hired them as contractors, right? And then once we decided they were going to make it, we rolled them over to Formosa. And back to this lady's question, we figured out that we were missing out on a lot of qualified people to other companies because they didn't want to work for a contractor. They wanted to work for a company. And I went to a troubleshooting competition that the college was putting on, and I found a guy, and he said, man, I want to come work for Formosa. And I interviewed him. I was like, oh, yeah, we're going to hire him. And he calls me up, hey, I got a job with whoever it was, right? They're paying more. It's with the company. The benefits are better, and I come unglued. And I told my boss and my manager and the plant manager, we got to hire them in straight as Formosa. We're losing good people because we're hiring them as contractors. So now we hire them as Formosa, and so we can get the P-Tech students, right? We can get those people that understand. Our minimum requirements are like P-Tech, a 4-year degree, a year experience in a chemical facility or a plant, oil field experience, right? We want them to have some kind of experience. But when they come through my program, I have them for 12 to 14 weeks. And we go over everything, no matter if they're from P-Tech or if they just worked out in the plant for a year as a fire watch or a scaffold builder or whatever they may be. We're going to give them from basic math, chemistry, algebra, pumps, compressors, turbines, you name it, reactions, a little bit of everything, plus all our policies, procedures, hazardous energy control, permitting, everything like that. The other thing, like I said, there's so many jobs out there. We have a welding school, and looking for trainers is hard, but we need welders. And any of y'all familiar with Skills USA? Right? Skills USA is a welding competition, right? Our welding instructor at the time, he went to a competition, and there was a gentleman there, and he was judging with him, and he happened to be the national welder and of Skills USA. When he was in high school, he was a national champion, right? And we recruited him. And so we brought him over, gave him a tour. He's sitting right back there. There he is. He's my welding training coordinator now because we were recruiting, right? We saw something because we were in the community. We were helping out Skills USA, and we found somebody, and we brought him over. And not only did we get him, the school district got his wife to teach, right? Win-win for both of us, right? Helping the community, and now he's helping us. And so he goes to area high schools, and he helps their welding programs. And when he sees good candidates, he calls the contractors that all weld for us and says, hey, I got somebody. Put him in my welding class. He teaches welding every Tuesday and Thursday night from 4 to 7. All the area contractors, they'll send, when they see somebody that has potential, they'll send him to him, and he'll teach them welding. Doesn't cost them anything because we need the welders in our area. And so Dakota over there will teach them how to weld, and then we have good quality welders, and we've closed that skills gap. We've been doing that since what, Dakota, 2017, I think, 16? Yeah, probably before that, but a long time. In 2014, Formosa, along with Dow, Seadrift, Turner Industrial Group, and the Wood Group, we all got together and we decided that we were going to make a nonprofit organization called the Industrial Merit Shop Education Foundation. And so we hired our director of education, NCCR training program director. Her name's Shelly Calloway. She's stationed out of Victoria College because we're in collaboration with Victoria College. And what her job is to go around all the area high schools and to set up and help them with their NCCER programs. Y'all are familiar with that, I'm sure, if you're in industry, right? And so they teach core, carpentry, construction site safety technicians, electrical, HVAC, millwrights, introductory to craft skills, pipe fitting, plumbing, power line workers, scaffolding, and welding. Okay, we touched 734 area high school students last semester. That's from August to December. And that's a lot of students. A lot of those are core. I'm not going to, the hardest part about any of these things, and I will tell you, and these people here from St. Jack, they know, it's hard to find instructors. The pay's not there, and those that are subject matter experts are in industry. And that's why, if you look back, I take those 2 college courses. Formosa sends me over there. They pay for, or I send one of my training coordinators over there, but I used to, right? Formosa pays for that, right? Calhoun High School wouldn't have somebody to go teach that for a state pay teacher salary. This is just not going to happen. It's a terrible situation, but I think industry should step up and help their area schools, and that's kind of what we're trying to do to close our skills gap. Believe it or not, the population of our workforce is less than it has been, and it's going to get worse. But this is just another thing that we do to help. IT, computers, that is, as since COVID, huge, right? It's been huge. I can work anywhere, right? As you can tell, I farm and ranch also. But if I'm out in my pickup, I flip up my Surface Pro right there, connect it to my phone, and I can do any work right there inside my pickup, just like I was if I was at my office, right? But what we did is we built a curriculum that the high schools can also, it follows their TEKS, their Texas Essential Knowledge Skills, right? And it's a 2-year program, and once they get done, they'll earn a certificate. And we've let the high school know that if a student earns this certificate, then we could hire them straight in as an IT person, information technology, computers, all that stuff, right? So this is something that we just started. This is the first year. We don't have any students yet. This is the first year that we did that. I'm sure most of y'all have heard of NAPTA, North American Process Technology Alliance. I'm on the board of NAPTA. I think this is a big deal. NAPTA, for those that don't know, we're the ones that build the curriculum for all the P-Tech courses from the colleges. But Formosa, or the people that work for me and myself, we go to the Instructor Skill Conference. We teach. That is a good program for not only industry to go to learn how to teach and learn things, but colleges can come, right? And all the college instructors, and we do that. And then what I really like is the National Troubleshooting Competition. If those that don't know about that, we have it from Alaska down to Florida. All the P-Techs that want to enter, they can enter this troubleshooting competition. We take the 12 best after the qualifying round, and they go to somewhere. This year it's going to be at St. Jack, and they will do troubleshootings, hands-on plus simulators. And it's 3 students per team, and they can have an alternate. So 36 to 48 of the top students are there, and we're sponsors of this. And I send a couple of guys over to judge it, and I go over there and I talk. But we also, if bottom right here, we also do mock interviews with them. We talk to the students, and it's a good spot to close our skills gap and find some top hands that have worked on a simulator already, a DCS, because those are hard to come by. And it's a good place for us to recruit. Being an Aggie, I'm going to brag a little bit, but as you know, the best engineers come from A&M. Whoop! There you go. And so Victoria, they had a university there, and they didn't offer engineering. And we knew that A&M, if we got A&M there, they would offer some engineering classes and some agricultural classes. And so Jack there, he's been with us since the 70s. He came from Taiwan. He's the vice president of oh my gosh, help me, Michelle. Huh? Business development. Sorry, I knew I'd get it. All right, he's the vice president of business development. He went to the state and he helped bring Texas A&M Victoria to Victoria, and now they're going to start a mechanical engineering next year, and then on, more engineering classes. And we're big into that. We told them we'd help them, whatever they need. I'm sure we're going to go over there and we're going to help them, because why? We need engineers, right? We need engineers. Any questions, comments? Go ahead.
So I love that you send people out into the schools to do, the teaching and stuff, but it takes, takes a special skill to be a teacher. So how do you ensure that continuity from, one person? Because, you had your personal style when you delivered it. Now you're sending other people out to the schools. How are you making sure that the folks that Formosa is sending are ready to be teachers for this stuff?
I am very lucky. I will tell you, two of my training coordinators, I hired one as an operator because he taught my kids, and I knew how good a teacher he was. So I hired him twice. I hired him as an operator first because I was at the power plant when I was PSM, ISO, and everything else, and I got to do the interviews, and I hired him there. And then when I went to the training center, I called him and said, hey, you need to come train for me because I know how good a teacher he is, right? And so that's the first one. And so after I taught for 4 years, he taught for 4 years. And then I said, we need another training coordinator. And I said, hey, this guy right here, Brian, he taught my kids too. I know he can teach. And I brought him. And so now he's teaching at the high school. So that's, you have to know your personnel. And I get to talk to everybody. Every new hire that comes in there, I talk to. I tell them that's my number on the board. It's my cell phone. I've worked there too long. I don't care. Call me whenever. I'm there for y'all, right? And they have to understand that. And wherever she was, that was the last speaker we're talking about onboarding. That's something we do. We have to talk to them, right, to retain them, let them know that they're somebody there for them. Because I was the one that, just go there. You're like, you're scared to death. I still remember. Just go over there and talk to those people. I don't know who those are. I don't even know where to go. And y'all saw how big we were. I don't even know where to drive in that place. Right? So, yeah. Any other questions? Yes, sir. We teach 5 days a week. So right now, it's first period. And so the first thing he does in the morning, he goes straight to the high school and he teaches. But I will tell you something. We're going to adjust that. And why? Because what do they have first period? Athletics. And we're missing out on a few people. Okay? And so this was brought up to me, hey, my son can't take this course because they have athletics first period. And so I looked at the school and I said, what do y'all have last period? Well, last period, a lot of kids go to work. Okay, just tell me. And I went to my plant manager. He said, Shawn, they're your people. Make it work. You need to teach the class. Make it work however you want. So I have good backing, okay? But we teach 5 days a week. We teach one semester is one class, Introduction to Process Technology. The next semester is Introduction to Safety, Health, and Environment. And when I first started teaching, I was the ISO coordinator. I wasn't even in training. We didn't have the training center. My manager called me and says, hey, Shawn, you're going to go teach at the high school. And I said, we're in the middle of starting this plant up. We're building the plant, right? And I said, I'm busy. We're starting up. I got all this environmental stuff I need to do. And he goes, Shawn, we're all busy. Go teach. Yes, sir. What can I say, right? But I had good backing, right? And he knew that I came from a long line of teachers. My mom was a teacher. My dad was a teacher. My wife was a teacher. So that's why I got voluntold to go teach. Good deal? Thank y'all.